This week, we hit the road in our brand new overland truck camper for a 2,500-mile camping adventure. From the sun-baked highways of Southern California through the deserts of the Southwest, all the way to the heart of the Midwest, we put our off-grid build to the test and find out what really works and what doesn't. After a few nights of urban camping in Southern California, we filled up our 40-gallon freshwater tank in preparation for the road trip home. Several goodbyes later, we finally set off to see how our new camper would perform on the open road. Over the past couple days, I've been having some issues starting the truck, and I was trying to work out a bug because I thought what was happening is the camper was continuing to draw off the chassis batteries when I shut it down because they are connected to the camper. But turns out that wasn't the case. The batteries are just going bad, and they're new batteries. So I'm gonna pop them out, go into Costco and swap them for some replacements. Now our camper has an interesting feature that I just learned about. So if the camper batteries are completely full, the Red Vision Alpha system will use solar power to trickle charge the chassis batteries when we're parked. There's also a feature, a recovery mode, that I can press that, and for 15 minutes it will charge the chassis batteries from the camper. And I was able to get the truck started this morning by using that and not having to jump it from another vehicle. I got the batteries installed and the truck started up without a problem, so that's a relief. We're gonna go grab some supplies and then head on the road and find our first camping spot for the night. Our first night stop on this road trip was Quartzsite, Arizona. We arrived after dark and were eager to relax for the evening. Is it time to come in yet?
Come on in.
Are we set up? With these, you always have to remember to duck your head when coming in. Well, our first real night of camping in the desert.
Well, my favorite way to unwind from a long driving day is a cup of hot tea. And that is what we shall have. And we have a full battery, so I've got plenty of power. To give you a little bit of perspective on how much power we have in our new camper, our first Flatbed Hawk had 3 100 amp hour lithium batteries. This camper has 5 162 amp hour lithium batteries. So we have 810 amp hours. You might be asking, why do you need all this power? Well, we have an induction cooktop, an AC unit, we have my electric kettle, I have a electric multi-cooker, we have lots of devices that need to be plugged in and powered.
You know, for being out in the desert, it wasn't much quieter than being in the city. There's a lot of people going back and forth on the roads around here. But other than that, I had a really good night. Got one of my best sleep scores in a long time. And now, coffee time. Ta-da! It's nice having a bigger dinette in here. Since they made this longer, the dinette is 6 inches wider than our previous Hawk, and it actually makes quite a bit of difference because when Kate and I are sitting here having our morning coffee or that, we can actually sit across from each other and not be bumping legs, which is nice.
Well, it is time to get packed up and hit the road. Very important to bungee this canvas front and back so that when we bring the roof down, it helps pull the canvas in.
At first, you kind of have to get the canvas coming in properly because it has a bit of a memory. And when we put the roof down, what Kate's been doing is closing the door and running the fan to really suck in the canvas even more. And then I stand outside to see if any of the canvas is peeking over the edge like Kate mentioned. And if so, I have to lift the roof and kind of tuck it back in. You really only need to do this, well, I don't know how long, but what we found is when we had our last one, once the canvas kind of got that memory, then every time you brought it down, it would suck it all the way in and you wouldn't have any problems. So most of the time, you just have to make sure that corner stays in. All right, that's pretty good. Now see, that corner is not coming in correctly. So I'm gonna have to go in there and push that up. Okay, the roof is all latched. We're ready to roll. Batteries are good.
And we're off like a herd of turtles.
And like a herd of turtles, we went. The drive from Arizona to New Mexico marked the truck's odometer rolling over to 270,000 miles. And the truck has been running like a champ with all the work I've put into it. So we're here at White Sands National Park, and one of the reasons I love having a small camper like this is we can go pretty much anywhere we want. So when we drive through White Sands, it's about a 8-mile drive out. There's all little parking spots and things where you can stop and explore the dunes at your leisure. So this, we can get anywhere we want, just like a camper van. Before going on the scenic drive, Kate and I stopped by the visitor center to learn more about the white gypsum sand dunes and the different animals that call this place home.
This national park has been on my list for a very long time. We've driven through New Mexico so many times, but never quite made it to White Sands, so I'm very excited to check out this national park.
I'm glad we did it when we did. They said if there is missile testing in the area, they shut down the highway and the park, so you can't even get in here. We asked about it because we're going to do some dispersed camping around the area if we can find a spot this evening. And we want to make sure we can get out in the morning. According to the National Park Service, there's no place on Earth quite like the glistening gypsum sand dunes rising from the Tularosa Basin. Spanning 275 square miles, these dunes are a popular destination for sledding and hiking, or, in our case, a leisurely stroll to soak in the peace and quiet of the dune field. While we could have spent the entire day exploring, we were eager to find a dispersed camping spot for the night and enjoy a relaxing afternoon that didn't involve driving hundreds of miles. It's getting a tad bit toasty out there. Say we put the AC on. Set it to 70. See how much power it's drawing. So it's pulling 50 amps on high. This is the first time I've ever used a 12-volt AC unit, and it's kicking off cold air pretty well. It's just as good as the 120 unit we have in our van, and it's a lot more quiet. I had to shut off the AC. I was actually getting cold in here. This thing works very well. I'm going to be curious what it's like on a very hot day, like in the 90s or 100s, and see if this can keep up with the heat that the camper will build up. I also checked our battery monitor app, and it was saying that when we were running on almost full power, that the battery with solar coming in, we could run for, I think it was 22 hours. And the sun is already starting to go down. It's almost 5 p.m. So that's awesome. It's a lot longer than we can do in our camper van. So it's impressive. And I'll be curious to see how this works in the long run. Well, I guess it's time to make dinner. Are you hungry?
Uh-huh.
Okay. First time cooking in the camper. Where are the pots?
Below the fridge.
Oh, down here. Our induction stove came with a little magnet so we can check to see if our pots and pans are induction ready. So let's see. And that'll work. Thank you.
While you make that, I'm gonna clean this up.
Okay. Well, the water heater's on, so it's nice and hot.
Ooh, that is hot.
Yeah, that instant hot water comes on real quick. Now, here's a little camping cookery that I'm gonna have to do. We did not bring regular salt with us. And if you know the correct way to cook Italian wheat pasta, you need to salt the water. The water should taste like salt water from the sea. Well, we don't have salt, but we have Kaneka sausage seasoning, which has salt in it, so it's gonna have to do. Now, normally if I'm cooking sausage or something fatty, I would go cook outside, but we didn't bring a camp table with us. That said, you can actually undo these latches, pick up the stove, and take it outside to cook outside.
That looks delicious.
And it's all ready to rock and roll. Okay, I'll let you serve us.
Here you go.
Thank you. We get a view with our dinner. Cheers.
As the saying goes, when the hills turn pink, it's time for a drink. And I'm making us tea.
Now let's get crazy with some tea. So Kate and I have been putting this camper to the test, and today was kind of the power test. We ran the AC for at least an hour, made dinner, and we had both of the cooktops on the induction stove going, and I think we were drawing 150 amps or something out of the batteries. We've had the lights on, water pump running, heat running. We put the hot water heater on, even though that uses propane, there's still some power there. We were charging our laptops, our devices and everything, and we are down to 87% state of charge on the battery. So 810 amp hours of battery, and we were cranking on this thing today. So far, it's looking like the big battery bank and everything else in here with the 12 volt AC is running very well. The only thing you got to be cautious about, oh, I forgot to mention, we also made what ended up being 4 cups of tea with I think it's a 1200 watt kettle. But what I was going to say is, you got to be really careful using the induction stovetop. That thing will draw your batteries down. Everything else was pretty good. Well, that being said, it is time for us to get ready for bed, and we'll see where we are in the morning. So, morning update on the battery status. Kate and I have continued to push it hard. Last night it got down to 32 degrees, so we had the heat going all night long. This morning, made my coffee. Kate used the induction stove to make us a delicious leftover breakfast, and we are currently at 83%. Now, this is telling me that we have 11 hours until the battery is full with the current solar charge coming in. It's almost 10 a.m. and we're already getting 17.2 amps into the battery from the solar. When we start driving, we have the alternator from the truck running into the camper, so that'll help charge this up as well. So I'm curious to see how much of a charge we get driving to our next destination today. The other thing I'm really enjoying about having the RedArc Red Vision system in here is that we can monitor everything from our phones using a Bluetooth connection. So when we're driving, we can actually pull up the battery system and see what's going on. The other thing we can do with it is we can control all of the lights in this camper. That includes the floodlights outside. So if we're getting to camp at night, we can just hit a button on our phone and all the floodlights will come on. So for example, I can turn the ceiling lights off, on. Makes it really easy when you're in bed and you don't want to get up to turn them off. Or if you've pulled into camp and you want to turn the lights on before you even open up the door. This also has a button for the water pump. There's a cooling fan for the fridge and a few other things on here. So far, 2 thumbs up. It's a really cool system. How does it feel to be driving Leo off-road again?
Feels good. I love driving Leo. No one pushes me around on the road when I'm driving this thing.
When Kate took the wheel this morning, she told me we would be making a few food stops along our way, including this pistachio farm in Alamogordo, New Mexico. After sampling just about every type of pistachio product the heart of the desert makes, we picked up a few of our favorites and a few gifts from the road to bring back for friends. So we are about 2 hours from being completely full on the battery. Putting almost 40 amps into the battery right now through both the truck and solar. This is the truck putting energy into the battery, and that's coming from solar. RedArc will prioritize solar to keep the load off your truck and your alternator. One of our favorite features on the Hawk Plus is this drop-down bay door that doubles as an outdoor table. In this case, it worked out perfectly as my coffee station. Coffee. Kate made us sandwiches. So we are all set. In the 6.5 years that Kate and I have been traveling full-time out of campers, we've explored 49 out of 50 US states. Driving on these familiar roads always brings back fond memories. We also have many favorite fuel stops throughout the country and try to plan our road trips around them. Well, it looks like we're averaging about 13 mpg as expected. I do love having the Titan fuel tank that we have on here. It's 51 gallons, which means we can skip all the expensive diesel and fill up when it's inexpensive. Like here, it was, I think, $2.74 for diesel, and in New Mexico, it was like $3.60 something. We are making a quick stop, well, I should say a quick overnight stop at Camp Walmart tonight. We're in Oklahoma and we're just passing through, so rather than try to go to a campground or something, just a quick overnight in the parking lot, which will be nice. And I did want to update you. Today it took about 2 hours of driving along with solar to fully charge our batteries from, I believe it was 83% up to 100. So that's great. We're at camp tonight and we can use the battery with abandon. All right, well, we're gonna get some sleep tonight and then back on the road in the morning. Good morning. So our plan today is just hit the road. We might try to make Springfield, Missouri. We'll see. But I think we're gonna grab some coffee and then hit the gym, which is about an hour and a half away. Get a workout in, get a shower. We do have a shower in the camper, but it's always nice to take a real shower at the gym. So that's what we're gonna do. Hot water for you, a venti flat white for me. So I have something to reveal to our audience. Joe is not my real name. It's actually what I've been using for YouTube because it's a lot easier for people. My real name is actually Nacho. They always get a kick out of it when I order it. Ready for Nacho. This is what I'm like before I've had my coffee. All right, let's get to the gym. I got back to the camper. The top is popped. Kate's ready to make us lunch and the AC is going. Plus a workout. Wonderful afternoon.
I do have a tip for fellow campers that like to shower at the gym. If you prefer a hot or warm shower, before you undress and get into the shower, turn the water on, let it run for a little bit, test the water pressure, test the water temperature before you fully commit for that shower, because the last shower I took went from lukewarm to ice cold, and I had already committed at that point.
Out of all the times we've driven through Oklahoma over the past 10 years, this is the first time we've taken to toll roads. Sometimes the cost is worth the time saved, especially when we're just focused on covering miles.
I think there might be a spot or two open. Okay, we basically did a Buggies to Bucky's drive. It was 550 miles, but we've made it to Springfield, Missouri. We're gonna fill up, and I think we still have another hour or so drive. We're gonna stay at a Cracker Barrel tonight, and then tomorrow we'll do the final push to southern Indiana. Okay, final push home.
We planned today's trip to row into St. Louis to get ribs at a spot that we haven't been to since 2016. So I'm very excited to go back and see if it's still as good as we remember.
We got leftovers. We are on the final stretch home and just pulled over to make myself a final cup of coffee. So far, we are really enjoying the camper. It's like home, just a little bit bigger. And stay tuned for some future videos. We are gonna do a complete walkthrough and more camping videos out of this to really show you what it's like. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to see more videos about our old four-wheel campers, check out our YouTube channel. We're the Russos. We'll see you next time. Bye.
This video is sponsored by Four Wheel Campers.